Greetings, starfighters. Welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm Jimmy P, filmmaker and sexual astronaut. First up, guys, please check out our fourth feature film for free, now on YouTube. Just search for Little Monster or click on the link in the show notes below. This episode, I'm joined by a very special guest, a guy I've known for, I don't know, 8-9 years probably, director of the animated web series The VALE, and coming soon, or probably out by the time this goes live, to the BBC, The Golden Cobra, Mr. Adam Llewellyn. Welcome, Adam. The VALE is out on YouTube. It's taken on a life of its own. What are your subscribers like on YouTube at the moment?
We're just under 2,000 subs at the moment. I'm trying to get us over. At the moment, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm putting out really weird videos all the time, and I'm like, subscribe to The VALE, because I'm just trying to get us up past 2,000 by the end of 2021. That's my sort of goal.
Okay. Again, we'll drop links in there, making sure as many people as can to get subscribed to it. And does The VALE outside of YouTube have much of a life out there? Obviously, I was lucky enough to attend a screening at Chapter Movie Maker. Have you put other physical screenings on?
Well, we want to get a screening for Series 3 Part 2, because we wanted to do a screening for Series 2 Part 2 and Series 3, but COVID happened, so we couldn't do any, because it was the first screening we did it was in Kong's in Cardiff, right?
Yeah, nice.
I was shitting my pants with the entire thing, and I was like I said to you before we started this interview, actually, like it was the most nerve-wracking experience, because you've made films and stuff before, and I'm not sure if you've got the same way when you do a premiere and you're just like, oh my god, man, because you spent like a year making something, and then it goes out and you're like, this is what it's all been leading to, and it's just the most fucking nerve-wracking thing ever.
What I will say is it seems to get easier. I don't know why. Maybe it's like some sort of trauma. Oh, yeah. You just kind of repress it deep down.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, it gets easier.
Do you know what? A funny story. I think it all comes back to, right? And I'll try not to go on too long about this, but when I was in uni and when I was in film school, I made a short film, which is still out there. You can find it. It's called Really Dark Days. But it was such a stupid thing. It got slated by my teachers, right? Because I went to a documentary film course, and instead of doing like a film, I just did a documentary film and TV thing, and basically there was this thing where like people were always making documentaries about homeless people, and like it was always like, God, there's a lot of documentaries about homeless people being made on this course. So me and Tom, who I was in uni with, were like, wouldn't it be funny if we made like a fake documentary about us following a homeless person? And I played a homeless guy, and Tom was this like sort of middle class documentary film student, and it was a joke. And we showed it, thinking, oh, people are going to think this is really funny, and like it's like a little, no, it went really bad. Like everyone hated me for doing it. They were like, and the lecturers stood there and were like, you're taking the piss out of the course doing this. And it was like, I stood there in front of an entire like screen full of all my like 50 people, just got teared into like in the worst way ever, and it's traumatized from screenings forever. It was like the worst thing ever, and I think
that's maybe know your audience, you know.
Well, I was about 18. I was about 18 or 19 as well, and like I was just like this little like scrawny 19-year-old, just like I thought I was just like, oh.
Although I tell you, if you had screened that at like Chapter Movie Maker, like, because when we started making stuff, you know, we were making like weird sci-fi comedies, and everything else that was being screened was like dead council house babies in the canal. And I think I might have actually just specifically name checked a film that I remember seeing at a South Wales event. So yeah, you would have had some appreciative audience members who again were kind of fed up of that, like, and it just seemed to be early 2000s that was Welsh indie film. So anything that took the piss out of that, I would have fully been on board for. And I'm definitely going to track that down now.
I'll send you a link to it. Yeah, put it on this video for it. It's a bag of crap to watch. It's like it's made by 18-year-old me. It's like it's edited. It's like 30 minutes long as well. It's like half an hour long as well. It's like so long, but yeah, it's out there. I mean, it's on. I think it's on Vimeo or something. But I'll send you a link if you want, and you can put it in this.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. Thanks. So screenings then, a mixed bag for you. But I also noticed, which I absolutely loved, because obviously it ties in with Anthony's things, is that you attended the Cardiff anime convention with the VALE. So you had a traders table, is this right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So basically, I'm not going to sit here and be like, they got in touch with me. I got in touch with them. I tracked them down for that. I was like, I saw the Cardiff anime convention was coming to Cardiff, and I was like, because obviously I was like, I'm on this. I got to do it. So I just sent him an email and said, hello there. You won't know who I am, but at all. I'm not even. But I said, can we have a traders table, please? And we had literally had the last table they had available. We managed to snag the last table they had, and yeah, it was just it was great. It was like we were there for like 2 days, and we met a couple of fans come up to us actually who had seen the VALE before and come and sit like our anime fans, and I was in my alls, man. I'm not much on new anime, like but 90s, 80s anime. I fucking love that stuff. And like
I still track down stuff from the 80s and 90s I didn't see at the time, but it wasn't available in the UK. Yeah. And you kind of go down the rabbit hole of IMDb, and then you type it into YouTube to see if it's out there, and it's always out there. So yeah, I know, I'm the same, man. I don't tend to watch the new stuff, like, all this new stuff on Netflix. I'm like, okay, it's just all the stuff I missed as a kid that I would have dug. And yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. But how did you guys go down with the anime crowd? Were they kind of like awesome? Did they appreciate it, or was there a bit of resistance? Like, did they feel they were getting the piss taken out of them?
No, they were lovely, man, and they were lovely, and they were all very nice. We didn't have any bad. We had no resistance at all. As far as I'm concerned, the other traders were really friendly. The people that organised were really friendly. The people who did the cosplay people were really friendly. It was a really nice atmosphere, and also like all the piss taking of anime is all done purely through love.
So another part I absolutely love that you started doing is the VALE merchandise, man, and also extends to like the thumbnail art. So obviously the second season was like love letters to famous anime posters, and it kind of crosses over into like the characters' interests as well. So like, you've got the wrestling, you've got like hip hop, and spoofs on like, famous covers and all of that kind of stuff. Is that again pretty much autobiographical interests, like, for you, or is this like putting it into your character's headspace?
Oh, well, the wrestling stuff, first off, is my friend Josh Hooper. But and shout out to Josh Hooper Magic, his page. He's a magician. He's a brilliant magician. But he helps out with the writing. He has done since series 3, beginning of series 3, and he does a couple of voices for us as well. But I like wrestling, right? But I don't really watch it anymore. But I think he's for my money the most knowledgeable guy I've ever met on wrestling ever. And like it would take a lot to go toe to toe with that guy on a wrestling sort of trivia challenge. The guy's obsessed with like Attitude Era wrestling, man. The guy knows everything you could ever know. So the wrestling stuff was a lot of his ideas. He said he was like, what if he did like a John Cena shirt with Greg on there? And I love wrestling, not as much as him, but I do like it. So I was more than happy to go along with that stuff there. The anime stuff is obviously Tony and stuff. It goes from there. Also, shout out, we got fucked by YouTube on the episode 2 as the Ghost in the Shell beaten.
Yeah.
If you might notice, it's from the waist up. Okay. That's because YouTube kept giving me strikes for having Beaton's bum on the thumbnail, weirdly. It's really annoying. It kills me, man, because you go through the thumbnails of series 2 and it's like, that one is not what it should be. The full body Beaton, like he should be like, I've got a name for Ghost in the Shell now, but
that's fantastic.
But it just drives me crazy that this day, because they kept giving me like, and I tried blurring it out, just blurring the bum out, or putting a boxer on the bum, and they were like, nope, that's X-rated. Even though
not even like pixelating it like Japanese cartoons had to do something. No, wow.
They wouldn't let me do that. I tried it like 3 times, and they were like, if you have one more strike, we will age restrict your channel or something. I was like, oh my god. So it's not worth it. So I just did it from the waist up. But then, annoyingly, if you type in Ghost in the Shell on YouTube, you'll find hundreds of the actual poster with a bum out and a boob as well. Yeah. Bum and side boob. That's even worse.
Wow.
But yeah, they wouldn't let Beaton's hairy bum on YouTube.
With the merchandise, are you finding there's much call for it? Is it your big money maker, or is it more just so the audience has something to connect with?
Just so to be honest, it's something to connect with, really. We don't make like tons of money off it or anything. I'll go a few weeks without selling a shirt and stuff. Ours mainly Brighton is our biggest seller for shirts. People from Brighton. So if you go to Brighton, you'll probably spot a few people in Vale t-shirts down around there. But so shout out to our Brighton fan base. I mean, you're buying me takeaways every now and then, buying them.
You go.
But
you need a big and Brighton t-shirt now, then, yeah.
I would do, yeah. But we got just randomly, we got like just pockets of fans, and obviously Ebervale is our biggest fan base. I mean, if I you walk around Vale, I quite often will bump into someone that says they watch the Vale and they really enjoy it, which is amazing. But then we'll get fans in Bristol, London, Brighton, and a couple in Scotland as well. Just really random. I don't know how they get found up there, but it's great that they do. And
I love the fact that something that is so Welsh but has these universal themes. I mean, not to sound too pretentious, but it does connect outside of Wales. So I absolutely love that, man. That's brilliant.
I'm not gonna name drop any TV shows or films I've seen because it's not cool. But I've seen a few. Yeah, I've seen a few things on BBC Wales and stuff where like you watch them, you're a bit like it's made in Wales, and you're like this isn't like bad or anything, but you're a bit like this is not really how Welsh people really communicate with each other. Like I'm born and bred from Ebervale, and like I was a bit like the Vale's a bit like. Well, and obviously, so I'm from Ebervale. Tom's from my Steg. Prog is from James Regodish. We call him Prog. He's from Aberdeen. So and Ian from Llantris and this. So we're all from different valleys towns, basically.
Yeah.
Hoop is also from Ebervale as well. So there's 2 Ebervale people on board, and Bands is from Cardiff. But it's quite cool that we realise that every valley's town's exactly the same since making the Vale. Like every valley's town is exactly the same. There's no, but they all have the same sort of sentimentalities and language and stuff.
Yeah.
But I like to think that we do a realistic sort of portrayal of how, because the swearing, people say to me sometimes, there's a lot of swearing in this. I'm like, no, there's a lot of swearing in Ebervale. People do swear like that to each other. Like my mother talks just like that.
What's next then? Obviously, Golden Cobra is going to get picked up for 6 seasons of the movie. What else are we looking at? So you were talking about wrapping up potentially the Vale. What's the plan?
Well, I've said to people that series 3 is the last series. I've been saying that for a little while, but never say never. I mean, I do quite, obviously Beaton and Tony, there's always things you can do with them later on. So as for the series 4 of the Vale, maybe it could happen, but I want to try and do a feature film next. I want to try and do an animated feature film next. I've got a few ideas. From I always wanted, like we were talking about like action stuff earlier. I've been my dream forever to make an action film. I'd love to try and do like an animated action movie someday. But
in the style of the Vale.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, like and somehow set it in Ebervale because I like to set everything in Ebervale. It's part of the same.
Putting it on the map, definitely. Well,
it on the map.
Count me in, man. I would love to see that. I mean. One of the anecdotally one of the best bits of watching the Vale on the big screen with a bunch of people who hadn't seen it before was obviously a lot of it's dialogue based, so they're just sat there talking. But as soon as they started walking and the characters just went that, the cinema cracked up. So the idea of then scaling that up to action movies, definitely, man.
Yeah, the walking like. Well, obviously, I would need some help on a feature film, so hopefully, the animators I've been working with on these ones, I'm not going to make them do that for free because it's a lot of work, but hopefully we'll be able to raise some money and get that done. But that's later on down the line. But to go on to the walking, in the first couple of episodes, I used to try and draw their legs moving. So if you watch like. I think it's episode 2. Tony does move his arms and legs as he's walking.
Okay.
And I would just go on Google and type in animation walk cycles and just kind of copy them onto like, just look at them and just draw Tony's legs in that shape. And it just didn't work. And then I avoided anyone walking in like episode 3, I believe. And also, this is why Blevin's in a wheelchair as well, because in the episode where Blevin's in a wheelchair, when Blevin first turns up, I was like, oh, yeah, he needs to walk up to them. Oh, what if he's just in a wheelchair? And then
lazy
get around that. But then they just ended up walking like, it just ended up, I was just a bit like, oh, fuck it. They can all just that sort of slick, that move. They just kind of glide through the air, don't they? They just kind of go like that. But,
fantastic. Honestly, like, and it turning into an action film, Love it. Can't wait. So is that far future, or what's the idea?
Well, hopefully, I mean, series 3.2 wraps up. Hopefully, when that wraps up now, then see what happens with the BBC. Fingers crossed that 6 seasons and a movie comes together. But we'll probably start working on that. Like, probably start chucking ideas around for something else to make on YouTube straight away. Basically, in fact, we're working on ideas. We're working on it right. We're working on stuff right now. I mean, every week, me, Tom, and Prog get together, and we get together and we just kind of spitball ideas. We're always researching some ideas and stuff, and like kicking things about, because it takes a long time to write stuff, and it takes a long time to animate it as well. So it's just good to have things in the pipe, and it's fun doing it. It's great to be creative, and I enjoy doing this stuff.
So, any potential return to live action, or is animation where your heart kind of lives at the moment?
I love, James, you know me, I love films, and I love the process of making live action films. But one thing I learned through doing it was that I just wasn't like cut out to do it. Basically, I'm not like trying to get like sympathy votes or anything, but it was just like I could never really communicate my ideas or really assert myself in front of crew and actors and stuff.
Sure.
And it's just, and like people I worked with are lovely. I've got no bad stories about people I worked with. They're all like people like Bill and Llewellyn and all that sort of stuff. Really, really, really lovely people. And the same goes to the camera people I work with. But I could just never quite like do it there. So I was ready to give up on filmmaking forever, basically, when I went back to teaching. And animation is just sort of what I'm doing now. And I can't really see doing any live action stuff now ever again, really. And that's not to poo-poo on live action filmmaking. Is it, people make great stuff. It's just not for me.
No, fair enough, man. And hey, I mean, the VALE show's absolutely suited for animation. Can't wait to see Golden Cobra. Can't wait to see, live back feature animation action movies as well, man. So it looks, it's great that you've kind of found your spot and you're excelling at it, man. It's a good news story. So fantastic to catch up with you. So I think we mentioned earlier on, but we'll say it again. So Golden Cobra is out on the 22nd of November. Everybody hop on iPlayer, watch it, 10 times. Keep running it through the night.
When you go to work, when you go to work in the day, just leave it on repeat on iPlayer and just get those ratings up. And
if you're in work, just open it up, put a couple of spreadsheets on the top of it on your desktop, but otherwise just keep it playing.
It's a good way to get ratings, actually. If you're a manager at a company or an office, get every employee there to put it on the computer.
Definitely.
Just watch it like that. Get those ratings up.
Let's do it. Cool. Adam, thank you so much, man. It's been a pleasure just catching up, but it's been great. And I think you've shared like a lot of really interesting stuff there, which a lot of people can take away from. Also, what would be awesome if you're up for it is if we have like a catch up in a year, see how it's going. Obviously, you might be far too busy and far too famous, but don't forget us. And we'd love to have you back on the show, dude.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever, man. Just give me a holler and I'll jump on. I'm always sat in this room editing or something, so it's nice to have an hour off and just talk for a bit.
Brilliant. Well, I'll let you get back to it because obviously we've got lots of VALE fans who want to see the rest of season 3.